It's just more and more nonsense by an out-of-control government that has now decided that the very laws that we live by, the Constitution, no longer applies to them. That's what they think. Now, of course, we did have 2 sham impeachments of Orange Man, but these people think that they don't have to listen to the Constitution, they don't have to listen to laws or anything else. So here is Karine Jean-Pierre. Again, she is the temporary, I suppose, replacement for Jen Psaki, who is out because of COVID, even though she was vaccinated, basically saying that we're going to go ahead and keep forcing businesses to vaccinate people, regardless of whether it's legal or not or what the courts say.
We know the vaccine requirements work, and we're going to continue to push that. I know we're going to make sure that we get as many people vaccinated. It is so important to get this pandemic behind us and to get the economy going. And so that's going to continue to be our message, is to tell anyone that we're working with, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, that this is how we have to move forward to make sure that we get out of the situation that we're in, to get out of this pandemic again. We still have 1,300 people a day, approximately 1,300 people a day dying of COVID. That should not be the number that we're looking at. And we believe that in order to get this pandemic behind us, we need to get more people vaccinated. And this is a way to do that. And we see vaccination requirements work. And also it's important to keep people safe in their workplace. That should be mission critical in making sure that happens. And so we're we feel confident about the legal component of this. The Department of Labor has the authority to move forward in making sure that they keep the workplace safe. And so, we have to make sure that we get this pandemic behind us.
The Department of Labor has the authority. No, they don't. Like, these people are just terrible. I have to say, she's slightly more likable than Psaki. Psaki is just absolutely terrible. This lady, she's a little bit better, I would suppose, in the likability. But again, she's just a bullshit artist. Notice she never said anything about the Constitution. She never said anything about the Bill of Rights. She never said anything about individual rights or just your decision to make a medical decision for yourself. They just don't care. Now, she did say 1,300 people a day. Okay, so let me just assume for a second. I'll go out on the assumption and say she's not flat out lying about that. Let's just say 1,300 people are dying a day. Now, we have about 340 million or so people in America. People die of all sorts of things. Can we get a number maybe on how many people die of getting hit by a car? Or give me something on how many people die of different things. Like, should we not allow people in cars? Like, what are we really talking about? Also, could I get some numbers like related to comorbidity on those people? Were they all 87 years old and seriously fat and had other diseases? Like, we should know about some of this stuff, but they don't care. What she really, really wants is the government, the federal government, to just ram through decisions and not care what the courts say. So one of the courts decided that this is not constitutional. You can't just force companies to do that. Again, really just putting aside partisan stuff, putting aside everything, really think how bananas it would be if after lunch, where, as I already said, we're having Jersey Mike's. It's not the healthiest lunch, but I was letting you guys have it today. If I grabbed one of these people and took them to CVS and forced a stranger to inject them with something so that they could continue to work for me, would that be sensible? I don't think that would be sensible. We've got some information here. 3,700 people die from car wrecks every day. That's according to the Association for Safe International Road Travel, one of my favorite organizations. 3,700 people die a day. Should we get the cars off the roads? I mean, what are we really, really talking about here? They just want more power. And now we got a scary video. If you didn't think that was kind of scary, and it is kind of scary, the idea that the federal government thinks it can just run over the courts. That's kind of scary in one way, but they talk in such a way that makes it sound like they're actually doing something legit, even though it's not. You get my point? But if you thought that was sort of scary or like a little weird or whatever, she's got nice hair, so maybe she's not so bad. Here's the Pfizer CEO. His name's Albert Bourla. This video just broke in the last 20 minutes before we started, talking about misinformation related to COVID and what we should do with the people who share misinformation.
But there is a very small part of professionals which they circulate on purpose misinformation so that they will mislead those that they have concern. Those people are criminals. They're not bad people. They're criminals because they literally costed millions of lives.
And should be treated as criminals as well, those who have done that.
They should be treated as criminals. They've cost millions of lives. Misinformation related to COVID has cost millions of lives. We have no evidence that that's true, but if you want to talk about misinformation related to COVID, we should talk about Anthony Fauci. We should talk about him lying under oath to Congress about mRNAs. We should talk about how he told his friends that they could go on vacation and not worry about masks because you touch your face more with masks. We should talk about 2 weeks to flatten the curve, how they lied about that. I mean, all of the stuff. Lockdowns work. There's no evidence that lockdowns work. Like, misinformation, you're right, man. And if you want to criminalize that stuff, and by the way, I'm pretty sure that the CEO of Pfizer doesn't get to decide who is a criminal and what should happen to criminals. At least not yet, even though Pfizer does sponsor all of our mainstream media. You may remember we played that compilation a couple weeks ago. Now, I was thinking, there was a word as I was watching that, guys, that I wanted to say to that fella there, that CEO of Pfizer, but I can't say it because if I say it, we get demonetized. So I'm just going to read my notes here for just a second. And